are still listening to them. To the point where they're stuck on Trump's Twitter bad as a strategy. So they're not bringing up the tax cuts for the rich and the tax cuts for corporations that screw regular people, raises taxes for everybody making $75,000 a year or less over a 10-year period. They're not talking about the Wall Street deregulation and the coming market crash. It's on the way. Believe me, it's definitely on the way. They're not talking about half of workers in America making $30,000 a year or less, or 76% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, or our D-plus infrastructure, which needs a total top-down rebuild. They're not talking about the fact that this party's totally bought and owned by the oil interests and fossil fuel interests, so they're pushing us further down the road of climate change to the point of no return. They're not talking about the bombing of 8 different countries, including, staying in Iraq, only withdrawing not even half the troops in Afghanistan when we should be getting out of Afghanistan. They're not talking about the push to do regime change in Iran, the push to do regime change in Venezuela, and resisting on that front. As this guy being the unhinged maniac that he is, they're not talking about the new Cold War and the ripping up of the weapons agreement that we had with Russia. They're not talking about any of that stuff. Trump's Twitter is bad. They're grifters, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But since they're in elite circles, they think they're serious. The fact of the matter is, you're much more likely to get serious, substantive conversation about politics on YouTube.